Привет, доброе утро, доброе утро. I have trouble saying that one. Доброе утро. Or is it доброе утро? I'm trying to say good morning in Russian. Um, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know my account's down to nothing. This is the lowest my account's been in a long time. In a long time. 5 trades in a row, all losses, all averaging about $12, $15, and my account is blown. I have enough money in my account to maybe get a large pizza at Domino's with like extra cheese topping, and that's it. And I'm here early. It's 8:21 as you can see because I've been up since 7 a.m. I can't sleep. That $150 pillow that I bought. Um, what is it called? Sattva. Sattva latex pillow. This thing cost um, it says 130 here, but when I went online, that thing was 100 and oh, I think I did get it for 130. Who cares? Whatever. Point is, for a pillow that cost over $100, it should damn well work right, properly. And for me, it's crap. I very much dislike the pillow, and everyone puts these 5 stars. Every single person puts these 5 stars, and I wonder if mine is still here. I gave it 2 stars, and I can't believe they only have 20 reviews. There's no way. But I wrote a review, and their first email was to send they sent me an email asking me, oh, we checked the email for your review, and we can't find any proof of purchase. And I've got 2 emails. I forgot which one I used to buy the pillow. So when I was doing the review and they asked for an email, I gave them the email for my junk mail. And they're like, can you prove that you purchased the pillow? So no problem. I sent them the proof of the receipt that I got in the mail. And then I started getting calls, but like spam calls. The calls you would get, they'll call you like early in the morning, like 8 o'clock, or late in the afternoon, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock evening, I mean, and they wouldn't leave a message. And that irritated me. And screw you. And they they finally did call and leave a message saying they wanted to, and sent an email saying they would like to talk to me about the situation and what can be done to move forward. And I'm like thinking, man, what do you mean? I bought your pillow and I don't like it. I find it unsatisfactory. You know, the only options obviously are to offer to send me another pillow and then I can send the one I have back to you and maybe I got a defect, or refund me my money, or give me a discount for another product that maybe I would like. I don't know, something. And um, their last call to me was a Sunday afternoon, which pisses me off, man. Don't bother me on a Sunday, you know? And that Monday, I sent an email to the guy, some guy named Ken, who kept emailing me, or actually only emailed me like three times. And I said, hey, listen, I'm sorry I've been missing your calls, but I work during the day, and um, Sundays generally is my only real day off, so I didn't answer the phone on Sunday. Now I'm confused as to the purpose of the calls. What remedy is it that you guys are offering? Because I can't see any immediate remedy for this issue. And that was the last I heard from them. So it looks like what they did is removed my review. I'm gonna go check it again. But this morning I woke up with the side of my head hurting and my ear hurting. It felt like I basically fell asleep on a hard surface. And I woke up and my ear was actually throbbing and hurting. That's how trashy this pillow is. One side of the pillow, it's soft. The middle of the pillow, your head just sinks in and it just gets hard. And then the other end of the pillow, it feels like, I don't know how to explain it, like like a beanbag or something that's full of some material that's really hard and doesn't give way, and it just feels hard. I don't know how to explain it. The pillow is ridiculous. It's like tiny bit soft on one end, but it's not big enough for your head. The most of the middle of the pillow, your head sinks into it, and it gets hard, and it just forms this. I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't form to fit with your head. Instead, it just sort of like melts away around your head and then gets hard. And then the other end is just too hard. So for $130, this pillow sucks. Simple. It's just a trashy pillow. And sleep is enough as an issue for me as it is. Because like I said, when I was a cop, my gun belt dug into my hip, and my bulletproof vest would pinch the skin on my stomach between my belt and the bottom of the vest because it was ill-fitting. And I complained about this for years, and they didn't care. Nobody cared. And again, I was a cop for over 10 years, and after I left, it was too late. I had developed this thing called lipoma. There's one, there's one started, one started on my stomach, but I guess because of all the movement, the bulletproof vest rubbing against the skin, another one formed. And as I understand it, the science behind it is when you start forming lipomas, they spread like cancer. Thankfully, they're non-cancerous. Um, I mean, if they were, I think I would be dead by now because I've had them for, I would say, almost 15 years. They started a few years before I left being a police officer. I remember I was dating a girl that noticed it in 2010 and was like, "You should go get that checked out." So I did. And I said, "Hey, listen, this it hurts. When I bend forward and the bulletproof vest pinches on top of the belt and it pinches lipoma, it really hurts a lot." And I remember the jerk off doctor. And let me tell you something. One of the many things I hate about Miami, the doctors here are garbage. Just my experience. Every doctor I've gone to has proved to be either A, absolutely incompetent. Not every. Let me rephrase that. Every doctor that doesn't work at a hospital, if it's a general practitioner or it's a specialty doctor, they're terrible. But if they work in an ER or urgent care, all the doctors I've had in that situation have been pretty damn good. Um, but this doctor told me that it was cosmetic, and because it's cosmetic, the insurance won't cover it. I was furious. But in terms of sleep, if I sleep on my left side, the lipoma on my hip hurts. Like the lipoma on my hip is about the size of a small lemon. It's really unattractive, unfortunately. Um, and I've actually even thought about doing what is it called? That where you can a GoFundMe or something. I think it's called GoFundMe. But I mean, nobody cares about me. Who's gonna donate money to me to fix this? And if they did, I think I did the math because I have so many of these lipomas now. They spread all around. I The one that started on my abdomen, now I think I counted. Oh, real quick. So I can't sleep on my left side because the weight of my body would be on the lipoma that's right on my hip, and it will start to hurt. And the pain, if I had to describe the pain, it's like imagine if somebody took a block of ice that won't melt and shoved it inside of your skin somehow. They're able to put it inside your skin, so it's between your the meat of your body and the skin, I guess. And you're laying on it. And it's if you ever put ice on your, if you try icing yourself for a long time and you left it for too long, it's sort of this simultaneously aching but sharp pain. I don't know how to explain it. It's the throbbing sharp pain. That's the pain I feel when I lay on lipoma. It feels like the blood's been cut off to part of your body, and it's aching. I don't know how to explain it, but it hurts bad, and it hurts enough that it'll wake me up. But the sad thing is, if I sleep on my right side, I have another lipoma between my ribs, like right above my hip. And when I sleep on my right side, because obviously my shoulders are wider than my waist, when I sleep like this. I don't know how to explain it, but my upper body is bent and my ribs push against the this lipoma against my hip. So even when I sleep on my right side, I'm in pain. So I can't sleep on my left side without pain. I can't sleep on my right side without pain. And if I try and sleep on my back, um, this 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 mattress is a mattress my mother bought me like almost 10 years ago because the mattress that I really liked I had to throw away because I think I told you I was living in an apartment with mold that started spreading everywhere, and the mold spread around my bed. And I didn't have anyone to help me move, so I had to move on my own. No, that's not true. I did have one friend, a former police officer, that helped me, but she's a girl, so it was just her and me, and we didn't have time to move my mattress, and it just had to be thrown away. But again, it was covered in mold, black mold, and it smelled bad, so I had no real choice. But it was a Tempur-Pedic, and when I was a police officer, I bought it back in, I don't know, mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006, for like $5,000, I think, or $3,000. I don't know what that is, 3,000 is worth today, but I'm curious. 2005. I assume like 5,000. Yeah, yeah. And I don't think it was a $3,000 bed, to be honest. I think I spent like 4 or 5,000. But it's a Tempur-Pedic bed, and it was great. It was pretty good. The only thing I was trying to find that I couldn't find successfully was a good pillow. But I love that bed. And eventually I bought a second mattress foam to go on top of that bed. And because it's a memory foam, it was really heavy. So that's one of the reasons why we couldn't move it because I alone couldn't lift it um, out of my apartment I was living in and into her truck. And I didn't have anyone to help me. So my parents, who signed the lease, were part in the lease. My mother went to the home to give the key back to the or to meet the landlord or for something. And they didn't believe me when I told them that the whole place was full of black mold. And when they saw it, I guess my mother felt a little bit of conscious and she felt somewhat bad about it, but not so bad that she never spoke to me for the next almost 2 years. And it was only when a hurricane was about to hit the roach infested studio I was living in that she decided to find some place for me. And we left quite literally a few hours before the storm hit. And I moved into a new apartment, and I was sleeping on the floor for a while, but then she got this bed here. And unfortunately, my mother has a tendency of buying the best stuff for herself, but for me, not very good things, not that sort of cheap whatever crap. So this bed's crap, and if I sleep on my back hurts. So, um, wow, that's interesting. Near record lows. It has been feeling kind of cool. But then again, it had rained for the past few days, and I thought about going to work out this morning, and I think I'm gonna take the entire week off from working out because since I've lost so much money in this account, since I've lost a roommate, since I don't have any clients training, um, I've been just basically eating once a day again, like I've been doing in the past. Yes, I bought a pizza on Sunday. I had half that pizza Sunday, and that was all I ate all of Sunday. And I had 3 slices on Monday. That was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and my smoothies, and that was it. And yesterday I made myself a couple egg sandwiches, and that was it. That was my entire meal. That's all I ate for the entire day. So less working out, less food, less money spent. That's the logic. And maybe I'll just give my body a rest for the week. I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe my Russian client will come back from her vacation in a couple of weeks. I don't think I'm going to hear from the accountant again because I know he said his rent is going to increase in June and he won't be able to train anymore. So and I've had no takers for a roommate from any females. I just keep getting a bunch of um, messages from guys. I mean, a lot. I think I got like a dozen yesterday. Man, it sucks, man. And I don't even know why I'm even doing this video because I'm not trading anymore. I can't. I mean, with what money? Unless the market, look, I have 16 bucks in my account, right? I have to be able to catch the bottom. Or if the market is trending strong, then I'll have to time, uh, how do I put this? I'll have to not only pick a strike that I can afford, but I'll have to time the move and the trend. So for example, let's say SPY is dropping. Let's say the market opens and SPY is just selling, right? And it turns out all I can afford is like the 402 strike or something like that. I have to jump in the 402 strike early. So not necessarily catching the tops or the bottoms of the move, but I have to catch it enough that I how do I put this? I would need to know beforehand, or at least have a guess how far the movement. No, I don't. Forget that. I'm sorry. That's irrelevant. I just need to get in whatever strike I can afford and hope that it continues moving in the direction I need it to go. And then hopefully, if I don't sell too early, I can catch the move and it can increase. So in other words, if I go short at the bell like today and I pick a strike price further out and this drops enough, then I can take advantage of that and make some money. But otherwise, you know, or another opportunity, sorry, is I can take a swing of 2 or 3 days or something like that, maybe a day or two. Um, and here's an ironic example. When the market opens, you can see yesterday we moved from 418 to 413, so 5 points, and we dropped a little bit further now to 412. So if yesterday I took a swing trade at one of these resistances here, or I saw a supply was formed here and retested on the 30 and took this short and held the swing till today, assuming this doesn't bounce at any point between now and 9:30, then that would be a good swing, kinda, maybe, I don't know, because theta would still be an issue between here and here, and this move might not even be enough. In fact, it might have been worth more money to sell it here than to hold it until here, to be honest. I don't know. Um, so yeah, in other words, it's going to be really hard to make any money with a little bit of money I have now. Number one. Number two, I can't afford to put more money in this account. I won't. Um, I spent like 130 bucks buying a foldable mattress, and I believe, but I might be wrong, that if I spend a little bit more money and buy like a little tiny room divider and something to put the mattress on, so like a daybed frame, and if this damn landlord will do what he said he's gonna do, and although now that he sent me that text on Monday complaining about me not paying my parking, even though I did, I spoke to my friend who lives in this building as well. My friend said what likely happened is that the landlord was hit with the first of, I think, 8 assessment fees for the repairs that are being done to the building. And the landlord apparently, who told me he's on the association, so I find that interesting that he claims to be an association but somehow doesn't know why he's being charged an assessment fee. Um, Now that he's being charged that fee, I don't think he's gonna pay to have someone come and put the curtains up. Um, so yeah, I think if the curtains were up and I can take a picture of the view, which I have to say, I have a really nice view of a large part of downtown Miami and the port of Miami from where I am in this building. Um, but I haven't been able to enjoy that view at all because since March of 2022, I've either had wood for windows or I've had foil paper. for curtains, and this landlord just didn't want to be bothered to come and put the blinds up. But now that he wants to sell and he wants to take pictures, now he's motivated to do it, but not motivated enough that it hasn't take that it has how do I put this? Not motivated enough that it has prevented him from taking March, April, and almost all of May to get it done. Excuse me, guys. So I would be nice because I can take up because I don't really have very many pictures of this studio. I mean, in my studio, I have boxes shoved up over here, and I have some boxes shoved up over here because I just simply don't have room to put a lot of my things. Because remember, when I left, when I sold my home, it was in a rush. When I left being a police officer, and um, I had a 1,200 square foot, 2 bedroom, 1.5 bath home, and almost all of my furniture was just sold. My parents just sold them all, and a lot of the things I brought with me from one home to the other, one apartment to the other, and I've been living mostly in crappy studios, so um, I don't have a lot of room or space to put a lot of my things, so it's a little unorganized. So what I guess I'm saying is if I can get more organized, if I can get this day bed set up, I can put a little bit of a room divider, maybe put a plant or something. And if this landlord actually fixes this window so I can have curtains and take pictures of the view, maybe I'm pretty sure that would elicit more interest in the apartment. But as it is right now, yeah. And I don't think I have the money to buy a day bed and to buy the room divider. Those two things alone might cost me like $300, and there's no guarantee it'll get me a roommate. So I just don't know if it's a worthy investment of my funds. So yeah, I know I hate to say it, but if the other girl had stayed here at least till the end of May, that would give me an additional $100 towards the rent. But even though I'm not sleeping well, I'm sleeping better that she's not here. And I just have a sense of relief now that there's not someone laying on the bed here, like looking in my direction. But anyways, I don't even know what to talk about with the market. I'm sorry. Um, but look, I know I'm rationalizing everything, but if we zoom out, this was the March low, and this was like the spot where the bulls needed to bounce right here. And it was confluence with the VIX's top of the megaphone. So I generally thought that taking a swing as a long might be a good play yesterday, especially after I saw this long wick, the supply being formed, the supply being retested. It all seemed like it was going to work out, but when the market started, it started falling. I don't feel like speculating why. I don't know if it's a debt ceiling discussion or whatever. I don't know. Um, but it looks like my initial assessment about the bounce at the bottom of the megaphone was right. And yeah, so on SPY, this was the March low. Let's look at it more on ES. It doesn't show the same on ES, of course. I wonder if I can zoom out any more. So I've done multiple clones of this March low, and you can see. Um, I guess it's time to get rid of this. Hold on. This was the channel that we broke out of, although I clearly don't have it set up properly, but whatever. Um, on SPY, this looks different. So yeah, basically this was a last ditch spot, and they failed. So uh, looking on trading views point of view, I still think it's funny how I put this big red blob here to tell myself, hey, this is probably where it's going to reverse. And sure enough, that's where it did. I just didn't do it until 9 o'clock. And the follow through was not too great yesterday. As you can see here, we're on the hour, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours before it finally started falling. But oh yeah, so here's the March low. So it looks better here. Of course it does, because it's trading view. So there's the actual March low, and this was a clone of that March low that followed up with this dip here in May 4th, and kinda almost here on May 12th, but definitely here on May 16th, 17th. It got tested actually a few times here, which I guess was a good indicator now at this point that it was going to get weak. And yeah, it fell. So now we're bouncing, it looks like, for now on this trend. And this one is I forget. It's a clone off of the January 22 January 2022, well, somewhere near there, I'm sorry. But to be more to the point, it's the high of August and the highs of January 23, and we broke out of that because it formed a triangle here, and now that's where it looks like we might be bouncing, but I don't think it's going to succeed. So if I read Adam Mancini's tweet, which of course I was looking at before, but it went to the home screen. Yesterday, ES broke down a 2-day base, starting a pullback. My targets were 4167, 4155, and after holding 4155 for 12 hours, failed. So here's 4155. So from 2 o'clock to almost 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock here, failed. Plan today 4135, major support and lowest bulls want to see. So this is right here. And I think that was our liftoff point for the rally that occurred on Wednesday and Thursday. Bounce zone back to 415560, which must clear to start recovery. 4135 fails, we see 4123, 4100. And sorry, this is my cluster of supports that saved price action several times here, 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 and here. Of course, it really didn't work here, but anyways. I'm wondering if I should move this trend down a little bit, or if it doesn't, I don't know if it really makes a difference. So yeah, I think there's a good chance we may continue. We could bounce here. We could, between this one and this one. But I think more likely we're going to come down here and bounce at this cluster here with the confluence of this and this trend line. This one is a trend line that I can never get to show properly on Thinkorswim, but it's a confluence of trend lines here. Let's see if I can zoom in. I know it's a mess. I'm sorry, guys. God bless it. This is, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't even know how to maneuver this thing to show this properly. I'm just so frustrated right now. I know this is a line that I can't. I'm so done. I can't. Every time I try and adjust it, the chart flexes and bends and moves around in a way I don't want it to. But there's some, you can see here, it's confluent here, and it's a clone. It has touch points here, here, and here. And I believe this is a line that Adam Mancini has as well, but I don't know if he removed it. Whatever, man. I need to have two charts. I need to have one. I wish these people would create a level, a way that I can remove not all my drawings, but just the levels. If I can remove just the levels alone and look at the trends, right? That would be helpful. But that's not going to happen. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know why I'm even going through all of this because I'm not trading today. I'm actually just going to talk about what I think is going to happen in the market. Um, I might do a couple updates, but that's really all I'm going to do until I can figure out my finances. If I can get even just one client that trains regularly, which seems like it's an impossible thing. I have to say, I have not had a client that can consistently train since before COVID. That's no joke. Every client I come across, I would say 99% of the people I come across as potential clients are full of themselves. They're full of crap. They'll talk your ear off about how they want to look and shape and then they'll ask you stupid impossible questions. Yeah, could I lose 30 pounds in just a week? You think you can do that for me? And I used to be realistic, but I stopped doing it. I'm like, yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. Give me a call. Let's meet up and start training and we can try and work it out. Um, I even tried reverse psychology, and I would say things like, well, I don't know if I call it reverse psychology, but as a, you know what, I need to make an effort to be at the door around 9 o'clock so I can tell this dipshit neighbor to stop slamming their door. Um, I would say to them, hey, listen, I don't know if I can take up any more clients right now, and I prefer to only train with people who are really committed and really want to get it done. And of course they'll say, "Oh yeah, trust me, yo, I'm committed, man. I'm committed. I want to work out. I want to train. Yeah, you can count on me." I don't know. I think it's a Miami thing. People here love to talk about what they will do, what they can do, but they don't really put in the effort, or they don't really come through. You can't really rely on them. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I had a couple potential roommates, these couple of one girl calls me and was like, hey, let's meet up, let's just hang out. And I'd say, yeah, that's fine. I mean, if you want to meet up, I'm free Friday. You want to meet up, da 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 da. She's like, yeah, yeah, I'll get off work at 9, I'm gonna call you so we can set it up. Never calls. Another girl, oh my god, I'm totally invested now. I'm really interested in your place. um I'm gonna come by and look at it on Sunday. Great, sure, no problem. Can you give me a time, what time you're gonna come by? Never hear from her. And, and I read one of those obnoxious posts on Instagram. There's a guy named, I think his name is Brett Cooper or whatever, in Canada, and he's one of those manosphere guys, and I agree with about 50% of the things that he says. And he's made successful YouTube videos. But when I was a cop and I was like maybe 24, 25, and I bought my NSX, um, I ended up befriending this guy who was one of those really energetic, positive guys, and he's got money, clearly. I mean, he has NSX as well. His NSX, him and one of his friends went to a mechanic that I met, and they dropped, and this is back in 2004, 2005, no, maybe like 2003. Sorry, I gotta do this again, guys. I'm sorry. These guys dropped, um, I think it was $8,000. So I'm gonna guess it's worth about 15 today. 14. They dropped $8,000 each to this mechanic to put in a 6-speed transmission in their car because the 91 to 96 NSXs only came with a 5-speed transmission. I mean, I say only, for that time, I guess that was normal. Um, but they got an upgraded transmission and they put that kind of money in there, and I was just like blown away. I wanted to be like them and have that kind of money to put that kind of um to buy something like that for my car. But man, $8,000. So and again, that's like 14,000 today. Who which one of us can drop? And even if you could, would you? Would you really put now? I don't think I would. If I had an NSX that was only a 5 speed, I would just be content with it. But when you're a kid, you think differently when you're 25 years old. Um, so I hung out with these guys. I looked up with them, and the one guy in particular. And when you're a cop, a lot of people like to befriend you for some reason. I don't know why, and they like to tell their friends, "Oh yeah, this is my friend. He's a police officer." I don't know. I hated it. I didn't like when my friends would tell other people, strangers, what I do without, letting me answer for myself. But this guy was a jerk. It turns out that this guy was an absolute jerk. And he was wealthy, but he was wealthy because his parents owned an air conditioning company. No, oh no, 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 no. I think it was a generator company, a company that makes generators for homes. That's what I think it was. But there's an AC thing in here somewhere. And he basically worked for his family's business. I mean, you can't. It's perfect hereditary nepotism, whatever. He didn't work hard for his wealth. He's just, you know, taking advantage of his family's wealth. And then he was about to marry this woman whose her family owns an air conditioning company. And one time he invited me to their home for dinner. And I didn't know why he was putting all this effort into sort of befriending me. But, at that time in my life, I had a girlfriend that ended up cheating on me, using drugs, taking my gun and pointing it at me, vandalizing my home. I had to call the police to kick her out. My home was a money pit. My house was garbage. This is the only home I ever bought, and I bought it when I was like 23, 24. And this house, I had to replace every appliance in this house in the first like 10 years living there. No joke. I'm talking the garage door opener, the frame and the springs that holds the garage door. I had to resurface the garage floor. I had to redo the entire tile of the house because the air conditioning was leaking water. I had to replace the air conditioning. I had to replace the water heater. I had to replace the sliding glass doors. I can go on with a dozen other things. This house was an absolute money pit. I had to redo the roof. And I had all these problems piling up on me, in addition to learning that the department I work for was a bunch of jerks. They to put it succinctly, most of the people of color in my department left, except for just me. And at one point, in my department there was only like a handful of people of color working in that department, and eventually most of them left. I was the only one that stayed and ended up getting burned a lot. So it was a really crap place to work. So I was dealing with stress from all over. And a lesson I learned now, and I apologize if anyone even watches this and gets tired of me doing this. I don't do this with anyone. I don't have friends that I vent to. I don't vent to them. I didn't know this back when I was young, but I know this now. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear about your problems. Nobody cares. That's just the reality. And even if you have valid issues in your life, and even if you fought the good fight and you ended up bloodied, dirty on your knees, nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear it. So this guy Brett Cooper said in a post that someone made on Instagram, he was saying how you got to cut out people with victim mentality. You got to cut them out of your life and don't deal with them because their negativity will bring you down. That's what this guy did to me. One day he said to me, you're a very negative person, and I can't have that kind of negativity in my life. You should go buy this book from such and such and, work on yourself. And that was it. Never heard from this guy again. And I thought, wow, what a jerk. But here's the thing, and this is my point of view, because I've had friends that vent to me. And I've had friends that were going through some tough times and I helped them out if I could. At no point do I ever feel when one of my friends venting to me, or if I have someone that broke down and cried, there's no part of me, not even a fractional, infinitesimal part of me that thinks, oh my God, dude, this guy's really being negative. It's bringing me down. Because I think I'm a pretty strong person. But the things I've gone through, which I haven't even talked about here, and I've gone through a lot, things that would make other men want to self-delete themselves. I've been through a lot. I've had a pretty difficult childhood. I've been through foster care, abusive. I've been abused in every kind of way as a kid. Um, the notion of looking down on somebody for a moment of weakness or just venting about their problems. If you feel that you need to abandon someone because their negativity is bringing you down, you're a weak person. You're a weak person. Because if you are sure and strong enough about yourself, someone else's misfortune should have no effect on you. That's just my point of view. I don't know. But yeah, I've noticed that people who are wealthy and who, I'm not saying they didn't work hard, but they made an effort and those efforts paid off. They tend to get arrogant. And I know because I was like that. When I was in my early 20s, I had my home, I had a motorcycle, I had my NSX, and I convinced myself that it was my great intellect and hard work that made all of this possible. But in reality, most of that was true. I can't, nothing I gained through nepotism. Nobody hooked me up, nobody helped me out, no doors opened for me. Everything I had, I definitely worked hard for and got it. But I still should have been more humble and appreciate what I had. If I did, I wouldn't have put my career, my home, and everything on the line for a girl that betrayed me, backstabbed me, lied, and caused me to lose everything. Um, so yeah. And when you lose everything and you start at rock bottom and you're living in a roach infested studio and you don't have money to eat and you're working a part-time job, two part-time jobs that are more hours than a full-time job, and you're in school full-time and you're barely sleeping, it humbles you. It really does. um, and when you work hard to achieve something and you put your all into it, and you either end up failing anyways, or when you achieve it, the rewards for that achievement aren't really worth the effort, like my college degree, um, it humbles you. It humbles you. So it's easy for someone to put in the effort. No, let me rephrase this. When someone puts in an effort and that effort pays them back, exponentially, and every time they take a risk or they put out an investment or they make a plan and the plan works and things are going their way, every time they play a hand they always get a good set of cards, if you know what I mean. It's easy to convince yourself at that point that your success was entirely up to you and your hard work. Luck had nothing to do with it. Nepotism had nothing to do with it. Your family wealth had nothing to do with it. Growing up in an upper middle class family had nothing to do with it. Going to a good school had nothing to do with it. Um, and I know I'm gonna get some people who hate me for saying this, but I'm sorry, it's true. Being in the right country or being the right skin color or being I'm not talking about privilege of a race. I'm saying, like, for example, if you're a white male that was born in Japan, I don't know if that really is a good example, but if you're in a country where you are part of the majority that's in power. So whether it's a country in Africa or a country in Europe or wherever, that gives you an advantage. If you're part of the minority and if there's been a structural um, uh, inequity created where if you're in the minority, you have certain disadvantages. I mean, that's just how it is. That's life, right? So, if you're part of the majority and you have innate advantages and those advantages have helped you in life, it doesn't take away from your accomplishments. It doesn't take away from your hard work. It's just a fact of life. I mean, if I'm a successful athlete, right? I can't sit here and say that my success in being an athlete in this particular team came only from my hard work. I can't sit here and say that if I'm a basketball player, if I'm 6'5" and I'm a basketball player, I can't look at someone who's 5'4" and say, if you worked hard enough and you really made the effort that I made, you can be on my team with me. You can be playing basketball with me. That's not logical, right? That doesn't make sense. Usain Bolt can't tell someone who's sort of big boned and who's been a little bit overweight all their life, even though they eat healthy and they work out, but they're a little bit on the heavy side. He can't look at them and say to them, if you ate how I ate and you train how I trained, you too can be an Olympic sprinter. That would be asinine, right? So if you're a successful person and you had a bunch of advantages in your favor all throughout your life, for you to say to someone, you have a victim mentality and you're very negative and it brings me down. Your negativity brings me down, so I can't have you as part of my life because it brings me down. I don't like the term flake of snow, but you're a flake of snow if that's how you think. So I don't know. Um, I don't know. I spent a long enough time venting here, ranting, and it's probably going to be already a 45-minute video. I saw what looked like a channel here, but I'm a little more confident in it because none of the touch points occurred pre-market except for maybe here. But I don't know. This could still fall some more. So um, sometimes when I see these patterns, I wonder if I can find the inverse on SPY, but I don't really see it. Well, maybe this bottom portion here, but the top portion doesn't show clearly. Yeah, there's nothing here on the top. I'm just gonna leave it there anyways because I don't care. And on ES, is it here? Is it this one? Yeah. Wow, everything looks better on ES. Well, it sounds like my obnoxious neighbor upstairs is vacuuming and moving furniture around, which basically sounds like what they're doing every damn day. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Uh, I made this video because I wanted to try and predict what's going to happen and see if my predictions are accurate based on some pattern I saw or some pattern that already exists. But in truth, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and just stop this video and walk away. Oh my God, it's already 9 o'clock and I have a task I got to take care of. All right, guys, for any of you trading today, good luck. But the lesson I've learned so far is it seems I need to only trade when a major pattern breaks, and I need to trade an in the money or at the money put. And even then, it still may not work for me because look, like I said yesterday, when we broke out of this triangle yesterday when the market opened, the logical thing would be to take it short, right? But instead, we just chopped from 9:30 till 12:30. 3 hours of chop before it finally started falling. So the only way I can think of that you can survive this chop and take advantage of the move that eventually happens is if you, and I don't even think getting an in the money would work. Now that I think about it, it would need to be both at the money, in the money, and it would need to be a further out expiration. And to do that, your option's gonna cost a lot of money. The only other thing I can think of, and I've seen Kpax do this, the guy I used to subscribe to, he would get a strike further out. So let's say he would buy the he would have bought like the four. I was gonna put SPY up, but forget it. He would buy like the 400 or 410 strike, but he would get it a month out in advance. And I don't know how much that would cost. I mean, I'll have to go to the chart and look, but I won't be able to look at it here, I'm sure. He would go like the June, what are we? We're in May. He would get like the June 10th or something like that, or I don't know, something further out. But let's say he got the 410 put in June. So he would have done something like that. He would have got the 410 put, and you see, if you bought right after the bell, and you got in, let's say at 90, because it's so far out in expiration, the theta doesn't affect it as negatively as it would if you bought it in the money of that day. Does that make sense? Another way to avoid theta decay is to buy an option that's far out in the future. And this isn't very, very, very far out, but if it's further out in the future and further out in the strike price, you it sort of shields you from the effects of the price chopping, and that you can see that kind of work here. So even if you got the highest amount or the highest value right after the bell, so you got it 100, the lowest it got was 70. So yeah, that's $30 down the hole. But if you trust in your plan and don't put a stop loss, eventually there you go. You could have made $100 on that option. But the trick is knowing which day to pick out in the future and which strike to pick. Because, you know, what if we chose something closer? What if we chose, what is it, 24th? What if we chose Friday expiration, which is the 26th? Or you know what? Let's choose next Friday, the January 2nd. Let's say you wanted to choose the following week, because I remember Carmine Rossotti, I think his name, would do that. So we're looking for June 2nd. So we're choosing the 410 strike on June 2nd. So let's say we couldn't afford that. Let's say we have a system where we don't want to pay more than $150 for an option. So we can't do June 2nd. It's too expensive. So we have to go further. No, wait. We have to go closer. Although, hold on. Why was June 6th? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the price now. So let's go to June 2nd. So, okay, here. So let's say we won't go long on an option unless it's like around the 150. So let's say we waited and it got to, 155, 156. We decided to get in at 150, 160, I should say, 160. Well, again, there, it worked out for you. But let's say we can't afford that. We don't want to do more than 100. We simply will not buy an option for more than 100. So then we have to go with a further out strike. So let's choose 408. Doesn't work. So then we're going to have to choose a closer day. So let's go to Friday, May 26th, on the 410 strike. And this is something Adam Mancini said. Adam Mancini said when he used to do options, he would usually do the Friday's expiration. And I remember there was a time when I was doing decent in my trades because I was choosing always the Friday expiration of that week. But then there were times where the market would rally and I would get upset because if I had chose the option of the day, the ODTE, I would have made much more profits. And of course, I was exiting early back then as well. So let's say we chose Friday's expiration with the put, and we chose the 410 strike, and we got in shortly after the bell, and we got screwed. We got in at 60. Well, unfortunately, here we're half of our value is down. But again, if we had faith in the trade and just held strong without putting a stop loss, then eventually it turned in our favor. Not severely, but it did. And and I'm gonna leave this on here until the market opens. I'll come back later. I should end this video. It's already too long. But remember, we dropped more than we closed yesterday. So let's go back to SPY so we can see the exact close. So on SPY, we closed officially at, well, this 15 minutes after, right here. This is our close, 4162. That's not 4162 on ES, I'm sure, but on 414. And now here we are at 412. So it dropped 2 points overnight. So that may be enough to take care of theta. But since this expires on Friday, the theta decay isn't going to be as severe. So this may well go up in value when we open to maybe 130, 120 from where it was in 90. So if you went long, oh, I'm sorry, if you took this put and went short and you got in at 40, so you bought 10 options, or let's say you waited, you got in at 445 and you got in with 450 bucks, you would logically have exited, scaled out of some of your positions here. But let's say you had a couple options left. You could probably sell when the market opens and make a little bit more money. So I'm curious what this value is going to be when the market opens, but I need to finish this task I was given yesterday. I should have done that at 9. I'll be back shortly after the market opens so we can see what happens with this option. Sorry guys, the market opened a couple minutes ago and I was not paying attention. Interesting, I didn't even hear the bell ring. I hope my thing is not on mute. No, I just was out of it. Okay, get off the screen now. Get off the screen. Good Lord, man. I hate computers. I really do. Okay, I can't get it off the. Oh, I guess you have to wait for it to finally decide to go away. Remember what I was saying? How if we chose the Friday expiration. Now look, let's check this out. Let's say we did a swing and we chose Thursday. So this is Friday. Let's say we chose for Thursday's strike at 407. Let's say we really we're poor, we couldn't do it. Oh, it did it. But hey, remember, my whole shtick, I genuinely believed that we would turn around because we reached the top of the megaphone on VIX. But obviously that didn't happen. We broke through that megaphone and we're proceeding even higher. So, but like I said yesterday, there was a very good chance, it looked to me after we broke down this triangle, that we were going to sell. And I wanted to take a put, but if I used a put that was in any strike on the day of expiration on that day, because of all this chop, I would lose money from theta decay. Because I've determined, maybe some of you guys knew this, I didn't know this, but even if you're in the money, you still suffer some theta decay. It might be minuscule, but you still suffer it. And if it happens over a long enough period of time, I guess you start losing money. Because I showed yesterday that even if you got it in the money or at the money put, you would lose money. I mean, here, we're losing money as well here. Don't get me wrong. But if I decided to take Friday's expiration, I don't want to use Thursday because it's the very next day. Theta decay is pretty bad even on the next day. If I had, Christ, hold on. If I had chosen Friday's expiration, and let's say we chose the cheapest strike, 407, the one that's way on the bottom. Yesterday, I had just enough money I could have gotten in here. Of course, I would have to assume and believe that it was going to eventually fall. But if I got in a put here, because I don't think I had enough money yesterday, I had only $21 yesterday. I would only have enough to get in down here if it reached down to 20. And knowing me, I probably would have sold once it hit 45 just to make 20 bucks, knowing me. You guys know me. But if I decided, you know what, I'm going to hold this for a swing, well, then this would have paid off wonderfully. This would have made up for all of my losses. Sadly, if I did do this though, and if I sold Here at 95, 95 minus 20 is $75. I would be maybe $15 over where I was before I started losing all my money over the past. But anyways, it would make up for all of my losses, the past 5 losses. So that would have been a good trade. But point is, I need to stop trading until I see major breaks in patterns, and this was one of them. Even though it was only a 2-day triangle, I think the bigger picture is, let me go to a 1030. The bigger picture is that we reached this high and we just couldn't break above it, and we've fallen. Actually, I forgot about this channel I found today. I'm wondering if this might be the turnaround point, but it probably won't be. It probably won't be. And here's a good indication to take this short, because here's a pattern that might break, or we might rise and reject off of here eventually. I don't know. But yeah, guys, I might have to start doing that. I might start to have to adjust my trading so that because unfortunately the MK strategy did not work yesterday or the day before or the day before that. My version of the MK strategy, and I still haven't found what this 112 strategy is. I have to maybe go through my emails and look up the specific email that he sent talking about it, and then click the link to get to the correct YouTube video. Because I tried looking for it the other day and I couldn't find it. But I do remember that I was having some success using sorry, I thought I had a new email, using this strategy where I would trade Friday. I wouldn't always trade Friday though. So let's say we're on Monday of the week, I might pick Wednesday, right? Or Thursday. If we're on Tuesday, I might pick Thursday or Friday. I would try and pick 2 or 3 days further out so that theta decay wasn't as damaging. But the problem is with doing that is you have to pick a further out strike, because you're paying money for that extra time, right? So if I chose a 410 strike today for a put and it's worth $50, it's going to be worth like $90, $100 that same strike for the next day, and $170 for the next day after that. So I have to pick a further out strike. And when you do that, if the market doesn't move in your direction like it does here, you will suffer theta decay, not as much on that day. So I guess what I'm saying is, if it doesn't make a decent move on that day, right? You won't get much theta decay, but you really will get very minimal profits. So how do I put this? Uh, let me go back. This is Friday's. Oh my God, dude. Chart. This is Friday's inspiration, right? Okay. Let's go back and see if we can look at this. Was it Monday? Monday. What day was it we had really crappy movements? Like there's nothing happening. Let me go to a 515. I think this is Friday. Friday was a day we did. What? Friday we sold off, so Friday wouldn't be a good example. Monday is probably a great example. Yeah, Monday was just chopping sideways. We had the spike here and spike below. So let's look at Monday. Monday was the. Come on, dude. Which day was? Oh my God. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So this is Monday. All right. Actually, I was just gonna try and. My point was to prove that there's not gonna be much move if you chose Fridays. But look at this. We're from 36 to 76. That's not bad. That's not bad. And maybe I'm not choosing the right day. 519. No, I'm not. I'm not choosing the right day. I'm an idiot. What day was Monday? Monday is the 22nd. Good Lord. This is Monday. God, I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. Okay, so there it is. Unless you sold here, which wouldn't be a bad spot. If you went long at the bell and you're able to get in the low 20s, and if you put your sell in the high 40s or mid 40s, you might have sold here. But otherwise, as you can see, it was pretty choppy most of this day. Look at this drop here. Um, if we chose a put on Monday, let's see, we may have to go back to SPY, unfortunately. Monday. If we chose a 417 put, no, we're not choosing 417. We're choosing a put for Friday. So we have to decide what put for Friday would have worked. Um, let's say we chose, well, no, this is it. Let's say this is it right here. It's a 407 put. I'm an idiot. This is the put. I thought this was the long. This is the put. So we rejected from here and dropped down here. So this is where, see, this is a big move from 420 to 417. 3 points is not a small move on SPY. So this is decent. This is decent. But what I'm saying is if you didn't catch this move here, what else would you catch? What other move could you have used? If you got in here at 1445 to sell here, then 1445 here. So you can get in at 19, but you see, from here to here wasn't much of a move. So as Adam Mancini just tweeted, let's say we got in on this candle here, 1445, and we sold just before market close at 1545. So we held for an hour. So 1445, we got in here at 19. Let's say we got in at 20 bucks, and then we decided to sell at the end. 25 bucks. $5 from 419 to 418. It's just $5. So that's the problem. But you know what? I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna stop using ODTEs, start using at least 2 days out, because the theta, it's not as wild in the movements. So I'm gonna start doing that. But again, to do that, I need money, more money in my account, because you're paying for that extra time. Anyways, let me read what Adam Mancini said, and I think I'll walk away for a while now and let this thing just do its thing. And it's dropping. Yep. Yeah. Let's zoom out. So here, I would have to pick a strike even further down. But, and that's something else too, when you take a couple days out, even if, I would have to put all, right? And then try and search through Friday to find one today that we could have afforded. So maybe this, wait, so wasn't I on 407 before? Oh, this is today's expiration, sorry. God bless it. May 26. Okay. May 26. And now we're going to try and scroll for one that I can afford. Sadly, I can only afford like the 398. So let's say we decided to go short at the bell. Well, there you go. We could have made $3. Because the problem is, the further out you go in time and the further out the strike you take, the more the price needs to move for this to be of any value. Otherwise, this is just flat. It's just flat. So, anyways, let's go back to a proper. So 426. So look how much money like the 404 put, or the 402, and there's not much movement. So yeah, you need a significant movement to really start making money. But anyways, guys, I'll be back. Just a quick update because I'm just been given a task that will quite likely take me the rest of my day to do. I've got to download over 130 documents, edit them, file them, and even after getting that assignment, I'm getting more tasks that I need to do, which I have to do those first before I can download all those documents, because otherwise they won't get done at all today. So I was in the shower earlier and I was thinking how before I discovered the MK strategy, I was trying to use this strategy of picking options a couple days in advance. But like I said before, the problem with those options is unless SPY makes a move of at least 2 points or more, and unless I can catch the bottom and sell at the tops, if you know what I mean, I couldn't make any real progress out of those moves. And even then, doesn't matter. If it goes against me, I'm still gonna lose money. So if I pick an ODT option, ODTE option, and it cost me $30 to get into the option, when it goes against me, because it's ODTE, I'll lose more money quickly when that price goes against me than I would if I picked a further out expiration. Um, but either way, I'm still losing money. So uh, with the trades that I've been making, I would have lost money anyways, if you get what I'm saying. Um, the point I'm bringing up about this whole picking a couple days in advance thing is that yesterday, and this I think this shows yesterday, right? Yeah, this is 9:30. Yesterday, even though price would have gone against me, it wouldn't have gone against me enough that I would be like having to panic and exit the position. So remember yesterday I took an option at $20. It was at 19. It was $19 and I exited at I think $15. So with commission that's a $5 loss. So if I had gone short yesterday at $15, if I didn't use a stop loss, and mind you, that option was a call that I took yesterday, so that option was the wrong play, period. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about waiting or whether I sold too early or whatever. That was the wrong play. The correct play was what my gut told me, which was to take it short. Unfortunately, and this is not Adam Mancini's fault. I made a decision based on something he said, but he tweeted not only that we were at the levels and this is an important level and we should bounce here, bulls would need to bounce it there, and he mentioned that the RSI was oversold or something like that. So based on his tweet and my own analysis, I decided let's take a long. That was the wrong play. It's not his fault at all. It was my decision. Um, what I should have done was follow my gut instinct, which I mean, it's not really gut. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We broke out of, again, I'm going to show it. Bear with me. We had a clear triangle form and we broke out of it overnight. No, not even overnight. Yesterday evening. And, no, not evening. We broke, okay, let me rephrase it. Let me back it up again. I'm such an idiot. Yesterday evening, we rejected off the top of that triangle. All right. And then we fell and broke below the triangle pre-market. And then into the market open, we just kept chopping. Now, my gut told me this should be dropping, right? That's what my gut told me. If I had taken a put shortly after the market opened and I used the Friday put and I picked a low enough strike that I could have afforded it, and I didn't even need to pick 402. I could have picked, are we still on Friday? No, this is Friday, yes, 26. I could have picked, let's say a 405, all right? Let's say I decided to pick that. And I decided to go long the moment I can afford to get into it. So I got in at 20 because that's all I could have afforded. Right. So the lowest point of the day, I'm down $7. All right. Yes, there is a chance I would have sold there. There is a chance. And this is the problem with options is you have to be willing to take a deep loss to hope that your play actually works out for you. And at one point I decided maybe the best stop loss for options is 50%. Is 50%. So, which is why you need to have a large account so that if you did trade this, so let's say you went 10 options and you went $200, hopefully your account is $200,000. So that $200 really won't make a dent in your account. So you just walk away, you put your stop loss at 50%, which there have been times where I've seen an option go from like 20 to $2 and then turn around and go up to freaking $200. But, you know, whether you use a stop loss or not, I don't know. I don't know what to say. But it did eventually turn around and it went back up. And if you had gone long $200 with 10 options, you could probably have sold 8 at $40, which is a $20 profit times 8, and that's what I cannot think. 20 times 8 is, good lord, 160? God, man, my brain is such a wasted piece of flesh, man. 8 times 20 is 160. Good lord, man. So you invested $200 and you just made a profit of 160. Great. And you leave two options left. I mean, it expires on Friday, and here we go now. This reached a peak of $95. But, let's say you sold at 80. You decided to sell your last two options at 80. Um, and those two options were bought at 20, so that's 60 times 2. So you just made an additional $120 to your 160, which is now 280. So you put in $200 and you scaled out and you got back 280, more than 100% of your investment. Um, and so you've made $280 to add to your $200,000 account. So yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Um, is that picking an option picking a strike further out and expiration further out can be advantageous, but it needs to move. That's the problem. And when it does move, if you sell that day, you won't make as much profit as you would if you chose an in the money option and um, ODTE. But the problem is you have to jump in at the right time. And this chop yesterday, I showed what happened yesterday. I'm going to show it once again. I'm sorry. Let's go back to 14 so we can 12 so we can save some time. 23. Okay, good lord. What is going on here? June 23rd. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. All right. 410 was the put I thought about getting. 410, and yesterday 3. No, no. Good lord. Let's go back to SPY. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just in the back of my mind. I'm telling myself I have to get back to work because I have so much to do. We got down to 413. Okay, so whatever. Let's just say 415. We did a 415 put of yesterday's expiration. We just type it in because this thing's taking too long. All right. You get in shortly after the bell rings at $400. Here's what I'm saying. It just kept chopping sideways, and at one point, your option is now down worthless. You would have lost almost, you say you got in at 40. You got in at 40, $400. You're $350 plus the commission down in the hole. So your investment's now worth only $40 now. Do you exit? Do you exit in panic, or do you just calmly just say, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna put the whole thing on the line and hope that my trade works in my favor? And eventually, the market did start to fall, and yes, you would have made $1,000 on your investment if you had waited long enough. But that's the problem with options. That's the problem. Is your investment can go from 400 to almost nothing in a matter of a few hours, especially ODTE options. So you decide, you know what, I'm not going to risk doing that. I'm going to do a strike further out. So you choose the Friday strike and you choose the 406. So you go long, you go $260, and at one point you're down $100, but you hold strong to your plan and you sell. Now, you wouldn't, what did we get in at 26? Let's say we decide to sell at 46. There we go. We've sold at 46. You've made $200. So you see the difference? You don't make as much profit. You don't suffer as much of a loss when the price goes against you, but you don't make as much of a profit when the price goes in your favor. So do you see what I'm saying? So that's the trick with choosing a strike and an option further out. Anyways, I need to get back to work. All right. I've managed to download 60 out of the 130 documents that I have to download. And it's not just simply just clicking a button and downloading it and just putting it in the directory. No, I have to go through several, no, not several, almost a half a dozen steps before I can download the document, edit the document into a different way. Each document has to be edited differently, and then saving it technically to 3 different directories. So on average, downloading each file takes me between maybe 5 to 7 minutes. And again, there's 130 of them. And this isn't my only task because, of course, every 15, 20 minutes, I'm being sent some other task to do or download this, calendar this, da 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 da, start a new file, start a new case for this, da da da. And I'm here thinking, I haven't had any lunch. My breakfast is just my smoothie. And I've been sitting here since 9 a.m. nonstop, other than jumping in the shower and using the bathroom, nonstop doing this. And when I said that this will take me all day, that's not an exaggeration. I will be here well after my work's supposed to be done, 5 o'clock, still doing this. Because again, 130 documents, and I'm only like at, I think, 60 or 61 at this point. So I'm not even halfway done. And I started around 10 o'clock, 10:15. So yeah, I'm not happy about this at all. This is really frustrating. Um, and I'm about to walk away and take a break because I can't just sit in front of the screen doing the same monotonous work layered with other work and answering the phone and whatever. So um, just take a quick look here. So if I had the funds to take the 406 put on Friday, this would have worked. So you can see if we got in, at 70 or something, we could have sold at like 100 to make $30. Nothing massive, whatever. But now let's look at ODTE. Let's look at today's expiration, and that's the 406 put. So let's go to today, and let's look at the 410 put. Now you see the difference here? You can get in around 40, 50 here and go up to 100. So this is the thing. This is why it's so frustrating sometimes. When the move is strong enough in one particular direction, using ODTE is great. It's a great move because you can get massive profits quickly. The problem is if you got in this morning at, let's zoom in a little bit closer. If you got in this morning at 50 and this turned around, started to rally, and then let's say it broke above this channel and then, I don't know, dropped at this level, right? And then in fact, hold on, I haven't done this in a while. We are currently on ES on 4118. And look, I have 4128 way down here. I'm telling you, man, I thought it was a good idea to list the levels that I have on ES on SPY, but now I've realized that I can't do that. I can't. I'm going to have to look at ES as I'm trading to determine when to exit, when to jump in based on the levels that Adam Mancini gives. I can't do it based on levels that I've placed on SPY from a correlation, not correlation, a direct correlation of a level that I. In other words, if ES is on 4,000 at 10 o'clock on this day, and I decide I'm going to mark the same price that's on SPY at 10 o'clock on this day and mark it as 4,000, 2 weeks from now, that will not be the same level, relevant level. If ES rallies and then returns back down, if ES rallies to 4,200 and then in 2 weeks later it drops back down to 4,000 for whatever reason, 4,000 will not be the same level as SPY would be here. It would be more like 4020 or something like that. That's where it would be here. Or no, what I've noticed is the levels seem to get higher, if that makes sense. So each time I'm like, what is the level? It seems to be like 10, 20 points higher than it should be. So again, we're at 4118 on ES. I have 4128 marked way down here. So anyways, so I don't know what I'm saying, man. I'm sorry. It's just there's no consistency with anything with the trading. Not I know obviously that should be an axiomatic statement. Of course, it's one chaotic mess. But what I'm saying is certain things that should seem to be consistent aren't. Um, if a level's at this level a week ago, shouldn't it be that same level a week later? Is what I'm saying. But for some reason, the relation between SPY and ES, it doesn't seem to work that way. So, anyways, um, we had what looked like a little rally at some point, and we broke above VWAP on SPY, but you can see we closed just slightly above it, and then that sold off hard. If you wanted to do the MK strategy, as I know it, um, there's no supply or demand forming on the left side here. You have a supply here that only gets retested again here, although technically it formed another major supply since it closed above the previous supply. This was sort of a funky retest because it went beyond the supply and then closed below it. So if you had gone short here, you would have to have sold here because the demand that it formed, although I forgot to say that, a demand was formed and then retested twice and then rallied just past the supply here. So you could have taken 410 to 411. But again, these moves are so slight. So I don't know, man. Let's say you took this short. So this is this is 2 o'clock. I'm guessing this is not 2 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock. I don't, what the hell? Oh, let me guess. I have to go through this nonsense. God, this effing computer, man. All right, 2 o'clock. Oh, it's not the computer, it's Thinkorswim. So look at this. And this is today's expiration, right? So this is what happens when you're using ODTE. Theta is so strong now that even a big move doesn't give you much of doesn't give you much profit, much price move on the option. And option puts always act a little bit stranger than calls, in my opinion. So if you chose instead to use the Friday put at 407.5, I guess, 96 to 125. It's a little bit better in terms of movement, but obviously you have to sacrifice more money. So you have to put in 100, and then maybe you can sell at 120. So I don't know, man. Anyways, I gotta step away for a bit from the computer. Good Lord, man. So the program that this firm uses is a program company called MyCase. Absolutely abysmal, obnoxious program, crappy user interface, and because the work I'm doing takes hours upon hours to do, what happened earlier when I was making my last video is I came back and I have several windows open. One window to track the work that I'm doing for the payment, one window to upload the documents that I need to upload, and da 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 da. I come back and all the windows says logged out. Logged out because you've been timed out. And I'm like, how did I get timed out? I just left for like 5 minutes to make a quick video and I came back. So I decided not to take a break like I said I was going to do. I went right back to what I was doing and I realized maybe if I stay away from the program for more than 5 minutes and I don't constantly do something, it'll log me out. but I've been working non-stop since that time, and I go to, from one window to another to do something, and boom, logged out. So the morons that designed this program set it up so that you will be logged out automatically in the middle of your work, no matter what. And I have to sit down and breathe in and ask myself, what kind of incredibly stupid moron would design a program that does that? And all the work I did was erased, and I have to start over again. So I'm stepping away for now. Um, I think I'm technically halfway done at this point, but my work technically ends at 5, and I still have like 5 or 6 other tasks to do that was given to me, despite this task being one that's going to take most of my day. So, and there's no overtime for me. So, if you take away the taxes, I'm getting paid maybe about $16 an hour for this work. Anyways, man, I'm starting to think maybe I should go work out, but I'm exhausted. All I've had was I'm still sipping on this smoothie from all day, and I should stick with my plan of not working out to lower my calorie intake to save some money. Um, but I did think this will be interesting to look at. I was peeking at it a little bit as I was doing my work because I have a little bit of my screen showing. Remember this? Remember the megaphone? We broke out of the megaphone, and obviously that this should be this alone, the fact that we broke out of the megaphone, we retested it, and we're coming back up, should be plenty of indication to take this short. Now, was it a big run short? No, it wasn't. I mean, this is a choppy mess. Oh, no, this is on VIX, but if we look at SPY, it was a decent drop from 412 to 410, but I wouldn't call it a strong drop to 410. It was more a clear drop maybe to, you know, 410.6, whatever. No, yeah, it's still, I forget that with SPY, 410 can encompass like a whole area. But from mid 412s at the opening bell to mid 410, that's a 2 point move. That's a decent move. You can get about 100% profits if you choose the right strike and the right expiration and the right option and the right day of the week and the right sunlight and the right humidity. So why futures must be so much more easy to trade. Um, but look, we reached this daily and stopped there. Um, but on VIX, like I said, we reached. I don't know what this level could be. I don't know what's so significant about this level, but we reached 20 on VIX, which again, interesting because I remember I had mentioned when we were down here that we're at 15 on VIX. So over the past few days, we've made it to 20 on VIX, and I remember someone saying in a video, some YouTube video, it was a um, economist, famous economist talking about the economy and da 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 da, and he mentioned the VIX, and he said that we've been under 20 in the VIX. Or was it a tweet that I don't know, somebody important mentioned that we've been under 20 on the VIX, and that's significant in terms of market direction or something like that. I don't know. So I don't know. 20 seems to be a magic number on the VIX, but again, 20 encompasses here all the way up to here. So we've been shuffling around the 20 zone of VIX all day. But look, there was a little bit of a rally today at the end of the day on SPY and of course on ES. It happened right around 3 o'clock because, everything between 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock is mostly chop. I'm also curious at the fact that we've had such a high volume today on SPY. I wonder if it's the same for ES. Yeah, of course it is. But a little mini rally here starting at 3 o'clock, and we went from 410 and pushed up. This looked like it was going to turn around and went all the way up, and we went to high 412. So if someone happened to go long at the end of the day here, and I guess here's one of of course, the day I trade, the day I don't trade and I'm broke, the MK strategy works fine in terms of a long. If you were going short here, you wouldn't get much of a move. You could sell here, but it didn't even make it before turning around and bouncing up. So if you were doing the MK strategy and went long here, and so look at this, if this demand forms and you take it long here, and you take it long with an at the money or in the money call, and you put your stop loss well below, so or don't use a stop loss at all, and you hold on to it until up to this point. There you go. And look, now that the market's fully closed and options are out of the picture, you can't trade options after 415. Look at this thing run now. Anyways, man, um, I I would start setting up my video to post, but I'm gonna try and do it a little bit after 5 o'clock because I'm worried that the program that I use is a Windows program to splice these videos together and upload them, but the program's annoying such that I can't minimize the screen. So I have no idea what's going on here, but look at that. So if you went long down here and decided to take a swing, I don't know, but then again, it's 420. Who knows what's going to happen at 9:20 to 9:30 tomorrow? So anyways, but I think what I wanted to point out was that on the VIX, we made it to right here at the 4-hour confluence with the the megaphone. This is the top of the megaphone that we broke out of and quickly rejected from there. Not quite sure how it is that SPY is rallying and this is just staying perfectly still, but I don't know. Maybe the VIX doesn't trade after a certain time. No, it looks like it does. Oh, it doesn't start up again after 4:15 until 3:30 in the morning, I guess. I don't know. But yep. Is there anything to show on TradingView? Uh, was it this morning? When did we start? Yeah, I think I had mentioned this morning that if we were going to turn around and bounce, it was going to be this support level here, the support cluster that we've bounced off of several times before, and it'll be in confluence with this trend right here. And I was trying to show where this trend started. Oh, no. Oh, look. That's not the trend I'm thinking of. This is that channel that we were stuck in for a good portion of early May, or mid-May, before finally breaking out. So this is interesting. But yeah, so this is where we finally turned around. So yeah, it was right. We created the demand zone just on this level, and here we are just pushing away. So just a little cool off. I guess the people crying the market's going to collapse were likely premature. But on SPY, this is a pretty good run. If you were able to sell before this candle closed, I'm curious. This is a 15-minute candle. Oh, it started at 4:15. Okay, and this candle ended at 4:15. So yeah, you were better off selling here if you were going to sell. Or this could be a great swing. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But look, we've already gone from actually it went to a low of 409. Actually, I was saying 410. A low of 409, and now we're at 413. So 4 points, or 3 points between 230 and anyways, I gotta finish this work. I'm gonna upload this video later.